Today on our 2017 Ford Explorer, you're going to be taking a look at, I'm going to show you how to install the Roadmaster Universal High Power Diode Wiring Kit, part number RM-154. This is what your diode wiring kit is going to look like when you get it. You're going to have a few zip ties, your diodes, you're going to have 30 foot of wire with your two 4-pole ends on it. You're also going to have a tether, which is going to go from one 4-pole that's coming out of the front of your vehicle to the back of your RV, and you're going to get some wire loom. In our case, our customer already has a 6-pole plug that goes to a 4-pole. So we're just going to be cutting one end off and running that into the back of our vehicle, and then splicing those wires into our factory taillight wiring. If you have just a 4-pole plug on the back of your vehicle, or maybe you have nothing on the back of your vehicle, what you're going to do is you're going to take about 3 foot of this, you're going to cut it off, and this end is what is going to get spliced into your RV so that your tether can provide the connection between the two. Again, in our case, we're not, so we're just going to be cutting off one end. We're going to maintain the 4-pole because our customer has a 6 to 4-pole umbilical cord that is already installed. You're going to get some butt connectors. What I suggest is if you need any butt connectors for the installation, use heat shrink butt connectors because the wires will be outside of the vehicle. You can find those here at eTrailer.com using part number DW05745. So for our install, I'm going to cut it off right up here next to the plug to give me as much wire as possible. Now I'm going to take this in, I'm going to run it from the front of my vehicle all the way to the back. All I did was took my cut end, passed it through my fascia or my grill here. It came out right here underneath. I went across, went over top my frame rail on this side. Make sure you're staying away from anything hot or moving. You do have some belts here. So I went outside. We have your fender liner here. I went right behind it and then up and zip tied it right to this hard line. Went up over top of my CV axle here. Zip tied it to this existing factory wiring and just filed this wiring back to the back of the vehicle. Zip tied here. Jumped across, zip tied here to this hard line. Took my wire, tucked it up underneath this existing cover. All the way back to here. Went across. Zip tied the factory wiring here. Zip tied it here. Went over top of my axle. Once I got over top of my axle, I pulled it and it sucked it up inside. Zip tied here. Filed this around because I have my exhaust. I have some existing wiring on this side over here. Zip tied it here. Zip tied it here. We're going to go right behind the fascia to the taillight. Now to remove your taillight, you're going to have some little plastic caps right here on the inside. Take a flathead screwdriver. If you have a little pick like this to get in there to pop that off. And you're going to use an 8mm socket. You're going to remove the 2 screws. And then to remove our light, we're just going to pull back. Just like that. Just going to set it right in the back here. We're going to do that same thing to the other side of the vehicle. So we've determined that this is a 3-wire system. You have your brake light here that runs here in the center. This is your turn signal, and your running light is here and out here also. Now, because the motorhome is a combined system, this turn signal here is amber. We cannot use that as our brake light. Again, because the motorhome is combined, we need to combine our signal here. So we're going to use this light here and this outside one as our turn signal and our brake signal. Now, we tested with a test light. Our brown wire we determine is going to be our brake light signal. So we're going to tie our blinker and our brake light signal into that. Our yellow wire is going to be our running light signal. So we'll go ahead and do our brake and our turn first. We're going to cut that brown wire. We have plenty of wire here too, so we have plenty of room. Go ahead and strip back our wire. Take your diode, pull off 2 of your spade terminals, put 1 on each of your wires. We're going to have 2 prongs on one side of our diode, 1 on the other. The side saying out goes out to the light. So we're going to plug that in with the 1 wire going to our plug. I'll plug this one into the other one. Now what we need to do is get our diode wiring up through the back of our fascia so we can connect it into the other side. If you work on cars, I'm sure you have a nut or a bolt in your garage. Take a string, tie it onto your nut or bolt. Basically it's a plumb bob. Drop it down until it comes out of the bottom. Take your wire and you can tape it on there. You can kind of put a little knot in it like that. Just like that. Go ahead and pull that all the way up. And we're going to take our wires and we're going to split them. We're going to split them all the way down to here. Green wire is going to be for our turn signal. Add on our 3rd spade connector. And that will connect right onto that same diode. Now we'll do our running lights. Go ahead and cut your wire. And you're going to connect 2 of your spade connectors the same way we did the other one. This time, you're going to have them with a yellow connector. Take your 2 blue ones and put those on your 2 wires or your factory wire that you just cut in half. Out, single side goes towards the plug or toward the light. And like that. Our brown wire is going to be our running light signal. So we'll cut that to length. And we're going to hold on to that second piece. Strip back, pull. Bring these 2 together. This is where you're going to add your yellow spade connector. That is going to connect onto the other side. Just like that. Then we'll take this brown wire and route it over to our driver's side with our yellow wire. Brown wire, we're just going to cut off the excess. Strip it back. Add our ring terminal, just like that. We'll take a self-typing screw. Just like that. Now, to get this back down, we'll tie it back on our bolt or nut because it's heavy. Let's see if we can't get it to go back down there. So I'm going to stick my diodes right here. Already tested. We know our light's going to go back in. On the back of your diode, you're going to have some sticky tape on there. Peel that off. It'll be a little hard to see. Let's stick one here. Get one right in there. Right. Just like that. And we determine our wiring on our driver's side is going to be the same colors and same functions as our passenger side. Brown's going to be our brake light, and then our yellow is going to be our running light signal. Now, yellow wire on our diode wiring kit wire is going to be our turn signal wire. So you can see how I have that hooked in here. Same way I did the green on the other side. And I did have to extend my brown wire. So I just took the white wire that I cut off the extra wire that I had, added it on with the heat shrink butt connector, and it's running right here to my running light signal. Now we'll just take these, stick them back in the back here like we did the other ones, and put our light back in place. Now we'll test out our wiring using an alternate power source. This is going to simulate being hooked up to your RV. Tail lights, left turn, brake lights, right turn. Now we have a little bit of a dilemma here. We got to figure out, because our kit only comes with this bracket here, which mounts to those two pegs on our base plate. It's not meant for full 4-pole wiring like this. There's no way to attach it to it. We do have a bracket like this. You can find it here at atrailer.com, part number 18144. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this top piece off. I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to use this as a guide. I'm going to drill 2 holes in it so I can put 2 nuts and bolts on it. And this will actually sit right there like that. And that'll do it for a look at and installation on the Roadmaster Universal High Power Diode Wiring Kit, part number RM-154 on our 2017 Ford Explorer.